Hello, welcome back everyone. It is now August 19th of 2022, and we're not only getting closer to Star Wars Andor, The Bad Batch 2, as well as Tales of the Jedi, but we also have The Mandalorian Season 3 and Ahsoka as pretty much the two big Star Wars shows of next year. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new Star Wars universe by John, George, and Dave is that they really are taking a lot of key aspects from Star Wars Legends and throwing it into the Disney canon. Now, we've talked about this numerous times that they will be using a lot of highlights, such as the Throne Trilogy, Dark Empire, Shadows of the Empire, and more. Now, of course, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes, given that Bob Chapek, the Disney CEO, is making a lot of changes and adjustments to the Star Wars universe in order to really enhance the experience and really give the fans what they want to see on, of course, Disney Plus and their streaming service. Now, with that being said, one thing that FAVREAU and Filoni are beginning to prepare for are the handful of announcements that they have in store for D23 and Disney Plus Day, both of which will have new show announcements, but the big deal is going to all take place at Celebration next year. So that's where the real magic is going to start, where you're going to have a lot of the second phase announcements, so to speak, for the new Star Wars TV shows. Now, moving past all of this, alright, what's even all the more exciting has a lot to do with what Bob Chapek recently had to say about the new Star Wars universe, and of course, what's currently in stock by John and Dave. Now, given that Kathleen Kennedy is still having issues with the Acolyte series for the Disney Plus platform, both FAVREAU and Filoni are on the path to bringing Star Wars back to its roots. However, recently Disney CEO Bob Chapek got involved in an interview where he was able to talk more about John and Dave's plan for the future of Star Wars and where it's all going to lead to. Now, Bob Chapek went on to state the following to the fans by making a special announcement stating the following: "It's in our best interest to respect and focus on the characters that have been a part of the franchise from the very beginning. We are going to focus on expanding characters like Luke, Anakin, Ahsoka, and others in ways that John and Dave are going to do in a very impressive format that we have laid out for the community. We are actively developing stories that are going to strictly focus on those characters and bringing in stories from Star Wars Legends. Our goal is to expand ways to connect all these characters that appear on screen together. We have some pretty exciting things that are coming together. I also want to bring it to the fans' attention that our goal is to also expand other characters within the Mandalorian story to have their very own shows someday of some kind, either in the form of limited series or traditional shows that we are currently brainstorming right now for the community as well." Now, separately from what Chapek stated here, this all alludes to how, yes, a young Luke Skywalker show is currently in development that goes under the dubbed title Star Wars Jedi Knight, along with Hayden Christensen having a multi-season contract that will eventually lead to Mando 4, with Luke and Anakin having a reunion scene that has already been planned out by FAVREAU and Filoni in storyboards. Now, currently, Chapek's plan is to give each major character in the Mandoverse essentially their very own Star Wars show. This, of course, also confirms the recent developments of the Bo-Katan series, and even a show that is set to feature characters like Ezra Bridger in the mix. Now, let me just stop right here for a second. The thing about Chapek coming out and saying that basically their game plan, what they really have planned out, is that all of the major characters, we're talking about the characters that have the most influence in the Mandoverse, are going to get their very own shows. So far, in the Mandoverse, Boba Fett has had his own show, Ahsoka's getting her very own show, Bo-Katan, alright, that's also another show currently in the works that's going to get announced later this year, so be aware about that, keep your eyes open. And also Luke Skywalker is getting his very own anthology show. We talked about this a couple of months ago, and it's slowly developing, but it's coming together. They're trying to get this thing out by holiday of 24 or sometime in the spring of 2025, the latest. So, the thing about Chapek here, too, is that he basically is also teasing of what Jon and Dave are doing with this new Star Wars universe. Basically, what they are doing is Jon and Dave also have something very special planned for The Mandalorian Season 4. A lot of storyboards have been finalized for the script, one of which involves a full-on reunion scene between both Anakin and Luke. We also talked about this. But the thing that really gets me the most of what Chapek really comes out with, of course, here, is that Anakin Skywalker is going to have a bigger focus than ever before. And this all alludes to what we have been talking about, that Anakin Skywalker is going to have multiple pop-ins in the Star Wars franchise. Basically, yes, Hayden does have a multi-show contract deal. He's appearing in Ahsoka, he's appearing in other Star Wars TV shows out there as well. So keep your eyes open for that too. Now, moving on from all of this, of course, there is also a live-action series in development for the early stages that will feature a ton more of Anakin Skywalker during the events of the Clone Wars era that will serve to essentially make a live-action Clone Wars series to boost the familiarity of the Clone Wars animated show. Everything Bob Chapek said alludes to all of these plans that are currently in the early stages and moving along very well for the fan base. Now, Hayden is said to have already met up with Mark Hamill about his involvement with Mando 4 to have a reunion scene between Luke and Anakin, of course, as a Force ghost that will be present in the 4th season, that has already been storyboarded for the show. Celebration of next year, by the way, is said to be the big deal for new announcements for all of the new Star Wars shows. Now, given that yes, Disney Plus Day and D23 are going to be the destination for a lot of new show announcements, the real deal is going to be Celebration of 23 in Europe. That's where you're going to get a lot more of the major shows that are really going to expand the franchise beyond The Mandalorian, beyond the characters associated with The Mandalorian. So, like I say, there's a lot of things to look forward to. Bob Chapek here too. I also want to actually elaborate. Bob Chapek is making it very clear that what they are focusing on is the familiar characters, so to speak. Ahsoka, Luke, Anakin, Boba Fett, Din Djarin now, Grogu, and more. I think it's a smart move. I think that everything of what Bob Chapek is putting together is a great move, and the fact that he's letting Jon and Dave do everything as they please, that's another thing to look forward to. I think that Ahsoka is going to be the big turnaround for Star Wars, because number one, it's being written solely by Dave Filoni. Number two, it's going to have a lot of Legends content in there. And number three, it's going to have a lot of retcons that will be made toward the sequel trilogy and more. Now, they're currently trying to make things happen with the Ahsoka series. They want to make it into a multi-show thing instead of it being a limited series, and I think that's a very good start. So, on top of all of this, guys, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this, because it's a very delicate situation right now. Obviously, a lot of fans, including myself, have a lot of mixed feelings on Star Wars Andor. Just keep in mind that Jon and Dave were not involved in that show, alright? So, I think that the main reason behind that is that Jon and Dave are not involved. It doesn't really have that oomph to it, that's just how I see it. But overall, guys, let me know what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.